Right, perfect. Yeah, this is
Yep,
great.
absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes.
I forget.
Does
I
it
got
work?
fucking so much TV, dude. I always forget which program works better.
I know, but I was messing with my computer, and my computer was being silly and wanted me to update a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, he
No
doesn't
one
have
has
time
time
for that.
shit.
Nobody's got time for that.
Welcome back for another great episode of Secure Dev Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Vinny Caballero. Today with me is the man responsible for 90% of my neurosis and the reason why I'm sort of good at making jokes, Vinny Ventrice. How are you, man?
Good. How
Dude,
are
good.
you, man? Good.
I've been seeing your post and seeing your military career is nothing short of remarkable, man. A lot of people don't realize what it takes to make it through for a full career in the military, especially somebody that's in combat arms that has deployed as much as you, and you're still doing the damn thing. But the thing that blows me away is you're still the same positive and hilarious individual.
Well, sometimes it's a mask I'm wearing, but sometimes it's not, you know. And
we're just all holding it together as best as we can.
Yeah, but the glue is holding it still.
Man, you've had every ideal job and leadership position anybody could ever like dream of in the military, and it's not the easiest thing to do, to go from being an infantry leader and then go into molding and developing the next generation of American lethal warriors, and you've done it beautifully. You're back now. You're back at a place that is like sacred ground. Being a
it is.
Yeah,
I think it is. Anyways, I mean, I talk to people about it, and I'm like, you know, wearing that drill sergeant hat or that black hat, like on Fort Benning. I know it sounds corny, but it's I mean, I think it's a prestigious position. You know what
absolutely,
I mean? I
dude.
think that
Like it's easy to talk shit about it, but you're the face of the standard. Both as a young kid coming in, there, like you're in Sandhill, like, oh, geez, I want to be an infantryman. Vinny comes in, just fucking grinds you every single day.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a good babysitter too, you know. Send your kids to Sandhill, I'll babysit them for a few
I think
weeks,
one of the most beautiful things that I've been able to see, because you do a great job of showing your life in uniform.
Yeah.
That's staying in there. You also have an amazing family, and you're a full-time dad. I think you're one of the few guys that I'm blessed to know that is able to do it all. That's one of the things, and I can't even imagine how exhausting it is to try to do that.
I mean, it is. It really is. But this job here, it's actually nice. You know, with the drill sergeant thing, you get home really late at night every night. But at least with this job, I'm home by dinner time. Yeah, I'm not in Afghanistan or Iraq, or so that's kind of a plus, and it's definitely helped me out, like mentally wise. You know, my body can't handle any more of that. I don't think
we're at that age, man. Like,
yeah.
How's it been transitioning back to the bending life and now in this new role, like being the black hat? That is, I mean, there's songs written about you. There's,
I mean, there are. I sing them time to time. But it's, I mean, like I said, it's when I took the drill sergeant hat off, when I got put in the 3 before I PCS, it's almost like your power base was taken from you. And that mentally affects you a lot. You know, like I remember sitting at home, like coming home from, being in the 3 shop, being like, what is my purpose now? Like, what am I doing? Because you don't have that power anymore without that hat. And then I went to a mechanized unit at Bliss, and I mean, you're a drop in the pond there, especially not being a tanker or a Bradley guy or whatever, a mechanized guy. And so coming back here to like the motherland is definitely been better on my my mental health, and actually feel like I'm a part of the team, not just
and
a
that's
drop
like
in the
really
pond,
difficult part of the military that people don't really realize. Like, you are going to go through so many changes in your career. You started out airborne, and before you know it, you're mechanized. Like, what was that world like? Please.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're not, I mean, if you don't, it's the same as going to like into a Ranger regiment without a tab. You know, it's you're not one of them. You know, so it's super difficult. I mean, they look at you differently, and then obviously, I go in there. I don't know anything about Bradley Strikers or anything like that. So I'm in E7. They're like pretty much private. You know, like so I don't know what. So being away, I mean, it was nice to learn that stuff, but it's nice to be back in my own little community.
It's such a foreign world because in the 82nd, all you have to worry about is just running.
Yeah, that's it. Just make sure you get up early, hungover, and run.
Don't you dare fucking walk in our dens.
Yeah, that's it. Don't walk on our dens.
God, those years they feel they feel like just yesterday, but at the same time, they feel so fucking far away.
They do. They do. In this past 10 years of my career has gone by so fast, and then seeing all the guys that get out, like, you know, you and all these guys that are getting out, it's like it's almost like a feeling I got left behind, you know, like all these guys are leaving me, and all these guys are growing these glorious beards, and I'm shaving my face every morning. So.
Just holding it together.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
that bad.
It's kind of one of the. I'm not going to take a bath with my toaster, I promise.
Vinny, honey, what are you doing? I'm making breakfast in the bathroom.
In the tub.
Dark humor is a coping mechanism for us, and it's our humor. Damn it, we can use it.
It is. It's dark, but it's.
That's something that's so Vinny that, and I think everybody in their service can identify that one friend they had that always had the ability to bring everybody around them and make things seem a little better. And I think within our platoon back in the day, it was Uniskew. You always had the ability to just bring us from such bad lows to such amazing highs.
That guy was. I still speak with him every now and then. I love that guy. He was another one of the guys that make sure he had a smile on your face. Even during,
how did you? Where does that humor come from? Because I have to imagine this was developed back home.
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, some of the stuff I say, I'll go home at night and be like, "Don't let him offend anybody," you know, like.
Yeah.
You know, laying in bed scrolling through reels, and I'm like, "What did I say today? Did it hurt anybody's feelings?"
And that's like, a huge thing today. Like, you can't joke about certain things, and it's like, yeah,
it's new. It's a new thing. People got feelings now. You know, the runs will be at a 9-minute pace.
That will never change. Next week, all right, easy, nice 15-minute jog. Can we do that?
Yeah. Well, you got to think of my feelings, so we'll look into that.
Oh man, how is it these days? Because I have to imagine that people are wanting to go airborne, people to volunteer for that extra $100. They're still excited. They're still motivated. Are you seeing a huge cultural shift, or are you still seeing?
So with that whole thing there, I saw it as a drill sergeant. As each cycle I picked up, you can progressively see like the private get more needy and more, you know, the feelings come into play. Like I remember coming through when we came through. A lot of the guys, you know, I went to basic training. We knew we were going to war. You know, like we knew, and we were scared, and you know, we did what we were told. But this new generation is just a little bit different with it. Like I couldn't imagine walking up to my black cat being like, "Hey, how many jumps do I have left today out of the 30-foot tower?" You know, like Just keep jumping until I tell you. Like I couldn't imagine some of the stuff they say and ask. I mean, I couldn't imagine. My black cat probably would have beat me up.
Yeah, dude. And it's true because when we went through, it was this idea of like speak when you're spoken to, shut up, parade rest.
Yep. Be afraid at parade rest.
Like, no cap, drill sergeant.
Yeah, I know. And I see it. I see it every. I mean, it's not all of them. I mean, it's not. You'll have some of them that come in that are that are like us, how we used to be. But it's not all of them. But for a good majority, it's a new generation that we're dealing with. And pretty soon, in the next 700 days, I'm going to leave it to them because I'm going to grow a beard like yours.
It's almost right there.
And I'm going to sleep in. I'm not getting up early.
I said the same thing. And everybody goes through that transition. Everybody goes through that period of like, all right, I'm done. I'm retired. I'm out. I'm going to sleep in. I'm going to do what I want. But then you slowly find yourself like waking up at 4 a.m. to be more productive, to do what you want to do because shit, like time is money. Like you want to be able to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like how have you been able to maintain that positivity these days? What are the things that you're doing to pour back into yourself? Because I've noticed as I got older, I needed more time for myself. Like, how are you doing that and caring for yourself and like trying to like help other black hats understand? Because like that is one of the most critical jobs right now, being an instructor in the military. How are you guys taking time for yourselves?
Well, and I notice it too, and it's when you're into something like when you're into like golf or like lifting weights like I am or whatever you have going. It's like you have to do your work and get your time in as well, without making the wife mad either, because you need to spend time with the wife and the kids. So it's you just gotta find that time to make for yourself. Like you have to figure it in, whether it's early in the morning or late at night after work. But then you run into the problem where you're not spending time with the family and stuff. So that's something you got to like balance out yourself. You just got to figure out. Because you find out the 24 hours in the day are not long enough, especially if you got a good a hobby.
It's brutal. It is not an easy life to like try to fit everything in. But and it's always the outside perspective, right? So I've been fortunate enough to have served and seen you be a father, be a husband. How did you make it happen? Like, I know a lot of the credit goes to your wife, but how do you guys make it happen so effortlessly?
Well, and a lot of the time, and you were there for a lot of it too. I mean, we're so deployed all the time. So the time we did have together, we appreciate each other, because we were deployed a lot. So the time, away when we're together, we did appreciate each other, which is, I think, that's a big thing. But now that I remember coming here the first time as a drill, and I'm home at cycle breaks, and you could tell she was like, "You need to go, like, you need to go do something." But yeah, you just gotta. I mean, it's hard, but you just gotta make it work. Like sometimes you just gotta make sure household six has got the smile on her face.
That's it. Like it's. You got to prioritize and put time and effort into making sure that your wife's good. Your spouse is, they're doing the brunt of the work. Like,
they really are. And then sometimes I feel bad because she's going to deal with, not always funny Vinny. She's going to deal with mad Vinny and then, PTSD Vinny. And
there's a whole backside support for that. But it's true though. People don't realize that we do bring like you said it best, and we say it a lot. Like we have a mask. We have like, all right, and it's always the ones that make all of us laugh. It's always the guys that are like, oh well, Vinny's not suffering for anything. He's always funny, and it's like, no, dude. You need to take time. You need to be able to check on Vinny too. I found myself doing the same thing.
You don't see behind the scenes.
This is where the depression kicks in.
Yeah, this is the asshole Vinny.
And I'm gonna ask you, and this is a serious question. what have you done? What have you been able to do in this portion of your career, the more senior Vinny? What have you been able to do to take care of yourself in that aspect?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've had to go
Yeah,
sit and talk with people before. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say it. I've had to go sit and talk with people before. I mean, it's just part of. I mean, I think it's part of this job, especially with the MOS that we
absolutely.
had and some of the stuff that we've done. So, I mean, I had to go sit down and speak with some lieutenant that was 15 years younger than me that just happened to be in that seat. But it's nice to just at least talk to
Yeah,
somebody. You know
that's
what I mean? So,
and that's a reality. For anybody in the audience that's listening to this that is in that senior leader position, you can feel like you're alone. You can feel like nobody else is doing it. But the reality is, like, you deserve it the most. You're one of the most influential people in your organization, bar none. That E8, that E9. Like, if you're not taking the time to say shit, like, I got a lot of shit. Like, the guys that are in charge right now, the senior leaders are the guys from GWAT, guys that were doing some really horrible, painful, fucking bloody fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan. You guys deserve it. You guys deserve to be able to take a knee. Like, doesn't mean that you have to, pack it in and throw it all away right now.
yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things that we have to remember. It's being able to, like, hey, buddy, I know you're funny right now. I know the jokes you're throwing out are great, but in your downtime, let's go talk to someone.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes anybody out there listening, do it. If you having
It's
the
one of the
trouble, go do it.
simplest things we can do to make sure, because we don't want to deal with it. And trust me, you don't want to deal with it on the backside once you're done. Use every resource you have while you're still in. While you're still in, you have access to so many different options, so many people that are there to help you 24/7. Get it all handled. Get it.
I mean, it is. And I even, firsthand from guys that I know that got out, when you go to make appointments through the VA for anything like that, just appointments in general, you're going to be waiting months.
Absolutely, dude.
So,
And it's
you're going to be waiting a long time.
Hilarious too. I've been out. I retired in April. Initially, the biggest thing that you will see is they will push every pharmaceutical they can, but they're not so great at making sure that you get your stuff on time. So, like, months.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing you hear from these guys too. Yeah.
Just months later, they'll be, hey, did you ever get your package of medications? Like, never. Not one of them.
Yep. Yeah. No. Again, and that's one road that I'm obviously going to have to cross here in the next couple of years that I'm not looking forward to, but hopefully I could be funny Vinny for that too,
But that's what it takes, man. That's what it really honestly takes, understanding that it's such a large system. It's not an organization that's built to function at breakneck speeds. You just got to be able to roll with the punches and just understand it. It's lean forward and start doing as much as you can before you're final out. And then just understand that they're humans. And you'll find some compassionate humans. You'll find people within that system that will take your cause, take your case, and they'll advocate for you. They'll call you and keep you up to date with everything. I know that I've been fortunate enough to find that. And it's that common humanity, being able to plead your case to another human being and for them to be like, you know what? I got you. Let's take care of you.
Yeah. No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, at the first time I went and sat with, the guy that I sat with, he, guy never deployed, lieutenant, young kid. And I was a little weird about it at first, because I mean, what has this guy seen or done? But it was just sitting and talking with somebody that kind of gets you just because of the degree that he had was it was better than, let's say, better than nothing. You know what I mean?
Well, Vinny, I've worked on cars. I think I can work on humans.
I'm pretty sure I could do
yeah, dude. It's difficult at first, but the more you realize that it's just about human connection, the easier it gets to then also expand your networks. And another great thing that I figured out about us is we're great face to face, but then as the years go by, we start going and retreating inward. We stop reaching out. We stop contacting friends, and it's the connection is the most important thing.
No, it is, and I was talking about that with a couple of guys the other day. You know, the guys that you have when you're in like such good friends. Yeah, I'm going to talk to this guy forever. He's going to be my best friend in the world. If you wind up talking to him, you know, once or twice a month, and then once a year, and I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
You
sad.
can build it back up. You can build it back up.
Those friendships.
That's one thing
Yeah,
that the
no,
brotherhood,
absolutely. Yes.
it's always there. Like we just have to
No, it is absolutely.
get creative about it. Like now with social media and everything that we have, it gets
Yeah.
easier, but man, it's still like pulling teeth, trying to get a hold of the right people. There's dudes that I haven't seen for years that I'm like, man, I wonder if they're all right. Guys like friggin' Sours
Yeah.
family.
Yeah. I haven't talked to,
Yeah.
seen or heard from him in a long time. You know, Ben Carolyn. I mean, Joe
You need
Ricciardi.
to start
All
putting
of
them
that.
on
You
milk
know?
cartons, figure out where they're at.
I know. We'll start inviting them on the
Dude,
show. We'll
that's
have a
part of the
big one.
reason why I
That'd be fun.
started this, to see where everybody's at.
Yeah, that'd be yeah. And it's funny too because I see like I watch your stuff. Obviously, you know, I get on and watch your and I see some of the guys you have on the conversation you have, and I'm like, oh god, I can't compete with that. Like, you know, you guys are having like adult conversation. I'm like, I don't know if I'm adult enough for this.
Well, let's take it back to the real humor. Where's Rose when we need him? If there's one
Oh
creature, God,
oh man. So I usually post a video once a year. The Mighty Mustache. I'll post it. Go on my Instagram, my Facebook. It comes up.
it's one of the greatest. I think it should be voted top 10 videos that of the GWAT era. It's
Yeah, that was a funny video. Like I said, I have it set to remind me every year to post it. So even when I'm in a bad mood, I'll get on and be like, yeah, I'm posting this anyways.
and for the audience that doesn't have any context, there's a gentleman named Rose. Oh God, we'll just keep it at Rose. I can't remember his first name, but he was quite the character.
Yeah, he did make it fun for us. He was
Yeah,
a little
he
comedy
did
to
not
have
enjoy taking
around, you know.
showers. The only person I've known to sleep would dip in.
Yeah, I never seen him even spit it. I'm like, you swallowing that? Have you swallowing that?
Call everybody sergeant, bar none, just everybody.
Yeah, yeah, everybody was.
But that's the other thing. I never saw that man brush your teeth, shower, or spit his dip. It was sort of like
No,
Schmeagol from Lord of the Rings, Gollum.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a good analogy. Yes, that was him.
Same frayed hair, very thinning.
It was just like dirty mop head up there, just hanging out.
Oh my God! And that, yeah, man, that bless his heart. Bless his heart. The adventures and things.
Yeah, bless his heart.
Priceless.
Yeah, he popped up on my Facebook not too long ago, so I added him on there. So
I always think back to that poor soul, and I hope he's doing good. I hope he's doing well. But
yeah,
nothing beats the night, or no, it was day when Voss just went ape shit and beat him up in
the barracks. Yeah, that was in Iraq actually. In the yeah, that was he body slammed him onto a large cheese pizza.
Yeah,
I mean he did. He body slammed him onto a cheese
ruined his pizza. Oh God!
Oh man,
he was
that guy was something else.
Didn't he originally come from 173rd? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did, but I think he was an E4 for a good.
Yeah, I think he was an E4 for over a decade, maybe two.
Yeah, but he was definitely some built-in comedy. Like I'll never forget the night we just got in Iraq. It was the middle of the night, and we're in the tent across from like we're in that random tent without AC. And I heard a magazine getting loaded in the pitch black. You could hear rounds going into a magazine. And I was like, and it sounded like, the area he was sleeping in. I was like, hey, Rose. And he's like, yep. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, He's like, just loading up extra rounds that I found. And I'm like, we're all going to die tonight.
I remember
We're all going to die
somebody
tonight.
was like, I'm sorry, Rose. like a Hail Mary, please.
I'm like, he's gonna execute all this tonight.
That same tent, I remember he had a really horrible body odor. And Voss took all his stuff, took everything, rucksack, everything, put it in a random truck outside. It belonged to some other unit, and it just took off. And Rose comes back in. He's like, "Where's my stuff?" Voss is like, "It stunk. I put it outside." Wait outside, son. It's like I put it in a random truck. Which truck, son? I don't even know if they found it.
Oh man, yeah. That's another one, Boss. He's another one.
Yeah. He's doing good. He
another one.
He left, dude. He was I want to say he was at fourth battalion, Ranger training.
Well, yeah, he came through when he came to Ranger School. He ended up spending a couple nights at my house when he had his break or whatever. And then he ended up coming back here to go work for them.
Yeah, that's what it was.
In Florida, and that's the last I heard of him.
Yeah, he's out now. Yeah, so many great dudes. That's a crazy thing, man. Like you go through such huge, long periods of, just chaos in your life and deployments for a year plus, and then just a blink of an eye, a snap. Like everybody gets PCS'd everywhere. Like I remember that last trip we did.
Yeah,
everybody, half the unit went to Alaska. Yeah,
everybody left.
So that's the crazy aspect of the military. You have such strong bonds, great friends, and then like Thanos snaps his fingers and everybody's gone.
Yeah, gone.
I think one of the greatest experiences though that I ever had the pleasure was going to selection with you, like going through the entire thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
I just remember both of us were always worried about our math or our test scores.
Yeah. I remember sitting in Tent City and Camp McCall. You and I we're stressing about if our Ross number's going to get called. We're not going to get our Green Berets. We're not.
Dude, people are worried about the physical stuff, like running and doing PT. And I'm like, man, I hope I could count right. I don't know.
I know.
And looking back, the math test wasn't that hard, but because like I'm a product of the public school system, it's like 4 + 4, 44.
I'm not sure.
I'll never forget that. We made it all the way through, and at that very end, like it was like clear, like it was like okay, like we should be done. Like this feels like we're done. Now we're just waiting for it. And I was like, I remember just looking at him like, I don't know, man. Like I really think I fucked that math test up. And I remember finally getting called up and like you're 1-1 in front of the cadre, and he's like listing out all the stuff you're great at, and it's like it was represented like in a bullseye, and it shows like here's everything we analyzed about you and everything. And he's like, here's your math. It's like way off away from center math. Then I'm like, am I in? And it was still like really vague. And I'm just like, okay. He's like, what MOS are you thinking? I'm like, 18 Delta. And he's like, he brings up the math again. He's like, this is not 18 Delta math.
No, you're Bravo.
18 Bravo. I'm like, 18 Bravo.
Yes. That's pretty much what they said to me. That's pretty much what they said.
This is not 18 Delta math. No, son.
Well, first he was like, you're selected. And I was like, are you sure?
Run that by me one more time.
You got the name right?
Dude, it still felt so surreal because I was just like, man, because every teacher makes you feel like math is like the most important. And look, first of all, if any child is listening to this, turn this shit off and go. You go call fucking goddamn public health or child fucking protection, because you should not be listening to this by yourselves. Shame on your parents. But like every teacher I have was like, you got to really pay attention to math. I'm like, lady, I'm like 17. If I don't get it by now, I'm not gonna get it.
Yeah, you're not putting anything new in my
you
brain.
won't succeed. Done. Well, Miss Abernathy, look at me now. But the best part, though, the best thing, going through the 18 Bravo course, doing great, having a great time, and it's like you always hear, like, just wait till you get to mortars. Wait till you get to mortars. That's going to, and I'm like, okay, this is not too bad. There's a lot of testing, there's a lot of stress, smoking your fucking beanbag off every day. Let's get to mortars. And you get to mortars and the math. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this is it. This is the great challenge that Mrs. Abernathy was always talking about. This is my break. And I remember like the first day, I forget the instructor's name, but he did such a phenomenal job, like scaring. I know he scared the shit out of me with like how like you're gonna learn mathematical equation that fucking collegiate doctorate individuals can't even do with their fancy degree. This is not a school for dummies. It's a school for smart, educated men. It's like you will learn math, practical math application. I was like, oh fuck, like high angle fire. I was like, oh god. And it was just like, and everybody's like sitting down. And it's like, all right, everybody, like, time to get serious. Now, if you didn't do so well in that placement test, you will have a supplemental math guide. And the instructors walks. One other instructor walks up to me, hands me a book, and he's like, "You're gonna need this." It's a supplemental math, and I'm like, "Oh fuck." So like, but that's like a perfect example of if you want something bad enough, you will fucking learn it. And it was one of those things where it's like I didn't go to bed until I fucking went through that. Like, guess I think we went to heavy like mortars. We started that Friday, and they gave me. I think I was the only person that got a supplemental math guy. I was only I was the strongest in the class. So I take my extra math book home, and I'm like studying over it. I'm like, oh my god, 2 numbers. No. Just remember fucking studying my dick off. And I forget the name of the instructor. Really great, awesome, friggin' Green Beret. Really, really great teacher. But he called me Gabe for the entirety of the fucking course. Gabe. Like, Gabe? Come here. I had no idea.
Where'd that come from?
First day of live fire. And I'm already stressing because of like math. Like, oh, I can't fuck this up. I don't want to kill myself or somebody else in this course. And one individual, they always talk about it, is like, don't be the fucking jackass that hangs around upside down. I'm like, no one's going to do that. They just say that. But I was stressing because, they're going to put you on the spot. You're going to have to fucking do deflections. You have to do everything on the spot. And sure as shit, first guy that goes to hang a mortar around. He's hanging that motherfucker upside down. And I'm like, no. All right. Well, at least I'm not that guy. Then he's like, he like sends him to the back. He's like, all right, Gabe, you're up. Like, fuck it, I'm Gabe.
Gabe. Yeah, I'm Gabe.
So, here I am.
I'm gonna start calling him Gabe.
Get down.
That's your new name.
Fucking start getting on the gun. He shoots out the commands. Like, all right, Gabe. I remember just looking at him, like, just giving him the fire commands and everything. He's like, come on, do the math, Gabe. I'm like, just. I remember I never corrected the dude till like the last day. And he's like, good job, Gabe. I knew you'd do it. It's like, actually, that's not my fucking name. He's like, it's not. No. What is your name? Denny. Oh, all right.
We're close enough.
Oh, dude, it was so yeah, it was my math was good enough to get me through mortars. And then years later, in 2015, I had to teach an entire fucking unit of Afghans how to shoot mortars. And I thought I was bad at math.
With a term.
Those motherfuckers can't count.
They're all 34 years old. Every one of them you talk to, they're all 34.
I just remember like bringing up a picture of a calculator, and it's just like, exactly. Can you translate that for me? What is this mysterious device? All right, fuck. Shit. Yeah. Oh man.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's those beautiful moments. But yeah, that was such a crazy journey to go on, because we also went with a few other BCO dudes. Like, we went stack that like right after that deployment, because we had a few of our own lieutenants and a couple of the other dudes who went through there.
Yeah, I remember some guys went right before we did, because I think you and I went right when we got back from deployment. I think, didn't we?
Yeah, strength in numbers.
But yeah, I know a bunch of people had gone, but it was dude. I mean, stuff happens for a reason. You know?
I know you went on to, after that, they PCS'd you from Bragg over to that's what it was. Yeah.
To 4th Brigade. I think, 4th Brigade, yeah. I went with the Fury dude, from the sky. What was that
trip to Afghanistan like?
It was different than a 1st Brigade trip. That whole unit's is different. They're more like 1st Brigade is more like parade rest and sergeant this and sergeant that. 4th Brigade was more like a family based story. You were more of a family with them than you were like a soldier. You know what I mean? So it was a little bit better with those guys, and a lot of those guys over there. I mean, a lot of them have silver stars and shit tons of Purple Hearts, and a lot of those guys have been through the ringer too. So it was good being in combat with some guys that have seen it and are good at it. So that was a plus.
That's a blessing and a curse. Like, you never know where you're going, never know what that unit's going to be like, and then land feet first and be like, okay, feeling it out. Like, all right, it's not going to be so bad. It's going to be a good one. No.
Yeah. Because at least with you guys, I knew you guys, and then we, went overseas. With those guys, I just met them, and then we went. So I went over there with a brand new group of dudes that I wasn't, really friends with.
That's when you really. So. It's like, oh right, so now we're at war. Yeah, dude, that's I still can't believe that it all ended so poorly.
Yeah.
So many years in that country and in Iraq. I mean, but it felt more intimate with Afghanistan. Iraq just felt like a bad fever dream. Just so many ridiculous situations. But Afghanistan really feels like it's still to this day really hard to like really feel closure with that situation.
No, and I actually made a comment. Because we had a film crew and a news reporter following us around. So that documentary that came out, I forget the name of it. Ricky Schroeder had done it, and I was in a couple episodes of it. But in any case, there was a news reporter there from the Washington Times following me around, and it comes to a point where he's there so much, and you talk to him like a friend. But little do you know that he's writing in his book. He's writing like, what you're saying in there. So I got called up for saying some stuff about that place that I shouldn't have. So I mean, my dogs are barking. So
dude, journalists in wartime, it's rarely do you ever experience it and it comes across like, oh, this is a good idea. This is a good conversation. It's always going to be reviewed by somebody. It's like, all right, get Vinny in here.
Yeah. Well, I got called into an office and got told, hey, watch what we talk about. Like, I'm over.
You can't call me a cock goblin piece of shit. I said with all due respect.
I'm trying to remember what that documentary was, because I haven't seen it all the way through. I only watched a couple of the snippets of the episodes I was in. But I'm trying to remember the name. But in any case, Ricky Schroeder had done it. Remember Myers? He was in it too. Yeah, Myers was in it too. I just forget the name of it. But anyways, that was those camera guys were wild. They were guys that filmed The Deadliest Catch too, and those guys had no fear in their bodies. Like it was, they were pretty cool to work around.
They just want to get the best shot. Yeah, I know. It's different, man. Like I gave our cam guy a lot of shit, justifiably though. He kind of sucked. He got better. The next team that got him, he did really good for them. What's that?
Was he just scared?
I think it was just the fact that it was his first trip and he didn't really know what he was supposed to do. I'm like, dude, I can't tell you what your job is. Like, if you leave it up to me, I'm just going to have you just be another gun. Like, or make you, you're here, do your job. If you don't know what your job is, then I'm just going to utilize you as I want. So just fucking
carry this animal.
Now you're
around,
my pack
please.
mule. Give me your camera.
Yeah.
Make TikToks.
Answer the radio.
Oh God. Are you on TikTok, by the way?
I am not, but however, I do sit on TikTok and scroll through all night long. And I tell myself I'm going to go to bed at 10 o'clock and I stay up till like 12 scrolling through TikTok.
I was going to say, TikTok. I can't wait to see your airborne fucking black hat dances on TikTok.
I can't get down like that. I mean, I'll throw some videos and stuff on Instagram, and the TikTok thing, I can't do it.
No, I love your content. I love being able to see, because it's one of the few like representations of like the reality of the military. When I look at your videos, like the thing that I love are the stories of the connection. You've been able to link up with guys that were privates, that when you were a drill sergeant, the individuals.
Yeah, it makes me feel old. It's awesome. It makes me feel so, especially seeing when he's 6th rank on and stuff. I'm like, I'm old now.
You're my kid. But that's one of the feelings that you will never get anywhere else. You really don't. Like, I would maybe in a trade job when you have somebody that, that's you teach them the trade, you teach them the skill, and next thing you know, you see them like flourish and you see them advance in life. But dude, there is no greater feeling than seeing one of your soldiers achieve something amazing, like getting promoted or becoming, airborne qualifying. That is extremely rewarding, because at some point you look back and you can still see that young kid that was scared holding on to his duffel bag and rucksack, like, I don't want to get smoked.
And then seeing him what rank on it, seeing him later on down the road. But every class that I have, every airborne class that I have, it's always one or two soldiers that I'll get in there, and I feel bad because I don't remember all the faces. I don't just seeing all. So I'm like, hey, how you doing, Sergeant Airborne? You were my drill sergeant back in 2015, and I'm like, oh, good, I remember you. Nice to meet you. And
yes, Smith, I remember you.
Yeah, I remember you.
You shit your pants all over the common area. Yeah, dude, like that.
But it is pretty cool to see happen. I mean, it is a small.
It truly is. It really is. It's humbling. It's humbling to know that individuals that you've impacted, and even like, and I never understood it, that there was always good leaders that would say and reiterate, like, hey, be careful how you treat these individuals. Be careful how you treat your subordinates. Like, these are people that become leaders. These are people that you will see later on in your career. Treat them right. Develop them. Pour into them. Like, you're going to see these people again. You never know who's going to friggin' come in as a private, come an officer down the road, and then be a company commander. And if you're that asshole NCO, guess who's now going to be on the chopping block?
Yes. I mean, it is true though. All these people, you're going to run into them eventually, especially if you're going to stay in.
Dude, I know that now your career is winding down. What are your thoughts on what's next in life? How many years you got left? You said you're
I get two. I get So as of April, I'll have 2 years left. And I think about it all the time, and it's like almost scary to me because this is what I've known for the past 20 years. So it's like getting out. Like, am I making the right decision? I mean, you know what I mean. So it is scary to me. And then I'm going to be going into this new job, and it's like, am I going to hate it? Am I going to love it? So it's super duper difficult. I mean, it weighs on me all the time, like,
Yeah.
because it's going to happen quick. Like, those 2 years go by fast. So hopefully it's something that the outside world I prevail at.
Now we'll move on to this part of the segment, helping Vinny figure out his purpose, passion, and drive. That's like the main thing. That's all you got to do. Like, really, honestly and truly. And it sounds so simple and dumb, but when I finally realized that it was like, I didn't have an identity. Like, that was the first thing I had to figure out. Like, figure out who the hell am I? Like, figure out who you are, figure out your purpose, your passion, and what you really want in life. And that can start right now. It just takes a lot of digging in. And for me, it was like reading lots of good books, like starting deep diving into like the identity piece. Because I didn't want to be stuck with this idea that all I was or the best part of my life was in like my service. Service is something that is amazing. I will always be able to say that I'm a Green Beret. Like, I earned that. I did this. I served during, a very pivotal moment in history. And, but that wasn't all that wasn't all there is to Denny. There's a whole lot more. And, once I figured that out, then it was easier for me to start digging in to like, okay, what else would I want to do? Like, I never thought to stop and think about what else I wanted to do because I was just so focused on the job and the mission. But that's one of the things I recommend doing right now. Just setting some time aside to really start thinking about what you enjoy doing.
Yeah, I mean, I do love the military, but I mean, it is time to get out and start, making, real money and getting some more time at home and getting, not have to worry about, the dumb things on a daily basis you need to worry about when you're in, you're in the Army.
And it makes way for the next generation to take lead, take point.
Yeah. It is, yes, it does. And I was telling some of them, some of the better ones that I do have. It's like I'm gonna hand this thing over to you here soon. A couple of years, it's gonna be on you. Make sure it's good.
And that's the beauty of it. Like, it's one of the few places where you get to pour your heart and soul to make something better than it was before you took it over. Like, we're gonna continue to need paratroopers. We're gonna continue to need men and women that are willing to jump out of a fucking airplane. And being able to develop that cadre in that system to continue moving forward. It's we don't want that system to fall apart. And that's sadly one of the things I've seen. Like, certain units, man, like it seems like one bad command team just kind of just eradicates everything. It's like, fuck.
No, it really does. And I've seen it firsthand on a couple of units I've been in. And it's sad to say that it does happen. It does happen.
It's a beautiful job. It's a beautiful time in your life. You will always be happy and proud of the service. Then you get to look forward to what's next, man. Because shit, like, kids have to be like in their 20s now, or at least if not 20s, 30s. Like, I feel like you've had at least, how many little ones you have now? 3. Like, they're all grown adults by now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. It's time to spend more time at home and friggin' relax, enjoy life. You think you'll
I just don't want to run into that whole you get those guys that get out. I know a few of them, I won't say them by name, but like, they get out and they still try to like live their lives through people that are in, and this is what I would have done if this was this is what I would have done if I was in still. It's, well, you're not anymore, and it's I don't want to turn.
I'll be there to help you not be that guy. If I see you wear a grunt style T-shirt, I'll just...
No, gosh, no. You get a better chance of seeing Jesus on a moped than that.
Oh God.
Hey, if Grunt Style, if you're listening, I said it. And if you wear a Grunt Style t-shirt too.
It's just so bad. It's just oh God, yeah. It's identity is a tricky one, man. You got to be able to walk away from it. It's you have to be able to work on you and what's important to you, not necessarily just stay who you were when you're in the military. But it's tricky. A lot of people suffer with it because it's such a monumental part of their life, and they don't go out there and start dreaming again and start like achieving other goals. So you get stuck.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely feel like you won't have that problem, though. I feel like once you're done, I think the next thing for you is going to be immediate, and you're going to know it. Like, whether that's being a male stripper or or fitness influencer, because I can see that.
I'm 43 years old and I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. You know, I still want to be a dinosaur.
The thing, I wish someday somebody did a Band of Brothers on that Iraq deployment.
Oh gosh, yeah. We probably have enough footage to.
I think the whole thing would just focus on Rose and Nelson.
Yes, for sure.
Oh my God. Well, Vinny, I can't thank you enough for coming on, brother.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. Like I said, I watched some of your other ones, and I'm like, oh, the guys he has on here, I can't compete with this adult conversation. And then you asked me to be on, and I'm like, I hope I don't mess this up, you know.
Don't worry. Next week we have a Nobel Peace Prize award-winning physicist. You know, it's my show, Vinny. I'll invite whoever the fuck I want.
Invite me on with him.
All right. Here's Dr. Theodopoulos talking about gender normity and frogs. Vin, what's your take? Frogs are gay.
Frogs are gay.
Oh, fuck. That was awesome. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.
You too.